And we're live. Welcome to West Ham Fan TV Friday Night Pint. My name's Nicky Hawkins. I'm here with Ryan for, we've got a lot to talk about tonight, mate. Dan will be joining us briefly. It's been a long time since it's just been me and you, mate. How you been?
Yeah, I'm all right, mate. Yes, good win last night. Good week so far. The weekend's upon us. Nearly Christmas.
I'll tell you what, I need it, mate. Yeah. What are you doing for Christmas anyway? Anything good? Any
Just
plans?
ram family, mate. Big family dinner. It's going to be mental this year. I think there's about 25 of us. I think in total, but
Oh,
it's what
who's cooking?
it's what Christmas is about, isn't it?
Yeah, obviously. I think that's what it's. As you get older, when we was younger, especially me and you, mate, we used to go out every Christmas. We used to make sure we got a big piss up. But as you get older and wiser, when you get families and that, it's all about family. You enjoy your family time a little bit more. But yeah, let's get right into it then, mate. There's a few things to talk about tonight, but we can't start anywhere. But the conquering Europe again last night. It was a good performance, I thought.
Yeah, brilliant performance. Much improved from Fulham. I mean, well, 3 passes together would have been an improvement against the Fulham game, but no, it was a good performance, very professional. I think Freiburg started off quite well, first 10 minutes, but then after that, we just took control of the game, passing it around. It was nice to see West Ham play like that, a bit of freedom. There was a lot of pressure on us last night because we needed to win that group. Now we've avoided the 2 games in February, and I think it's brilliant, and I was just looking at, like, when you look at David Moyes' record in Europe, like, I've just got the stats here: 33 games, 25 wins, 3 draws, 5 losses, 63 goals scored, 20 conceded, 15 clean sheets, 76% win percentage, top the group 3 out of 3, and won 1 trophy. I mean, I know he gets his critics, but you've got to applaud that. That's an unbelievable record in Europe, and any manager or any club or fans would be proud to have that. And I know what you say about the Conference League, but that's brilliant. And for us to go 3 European campaigns now and win the group 3 times, we had so much rubbish where we couldn't even qualify under Bilic and things like that. But yeah, I think when it comes to Europe now, we are an established European team.
No, I totally agree. We have been playing well in Europe. A couple of losses this year, which we haven't had in the group stages this year. No, 1 loss, 1 draw, wasn't it?
No, we only lost 1. I think we didn't draw. Did we draw? I don't think we drew. No, I think we only lost to Olympiacos.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, but we lost the game. It wasn't as cut and dry as it'd been over, especially last year and the year before, where we had it sort of wrapped up by this point. So I was wondering whether the nerves might kick in. It is a big game. Freiburg on paper they're a decent team. I think they give Olympiacos a good idea as well, didn't they? Earlier in the group. So I was thinking, maybe it could be a little bit of nerves, but thoroughly professional performance. I've got to say, I'm a critic of Moyes, and I get pelters for it, and there's arguments going on and all of that sort of thing. As I say, like, I thought last night's approach to the game was perfect. It was absolutely perfect. We didn't sit back. We didn't defend. We attacked. We pressed. We strung passes together. It wasn't a long ball and hit and hope. It was a concise. It looked like we had a game plan, which is something that I'm a little bit critical of him for. Moyes at times where he seems to have one game plan. Listen, I'm sure. With what he's been saying in the press conferences, which we'll get on to a bit later, he would have preferred to have had this wrapped up by now and maybe given a few of his stars a rest. But it was the stars that made the difference last night.
Yeah, I mean, you take it, you swap Fabianski for Areola and Zuma for Mavropanos. That's probably our strongest starting lineup. And I was surprised how strong he went last night, but it shows that he's taking it serious. And hopefully, barring any injuries against Wolves, let's hope that we see a similar sort of team going into the Liverpool game in midweek. But I just thought all round there were some good performances last night. I think it showed like how important Alvarez is as a player, because he stepped up last night. It was so good for him to score his first goal for the club as well. I was a bit disappointed with his celebration. I thought he was going to do something nuts, like beat someone up. But I think Kudus was just unreal last night. didn't stop running, had a great game, great goal as well. I think Bowen played well. I think everyone had a good game last night. The only person I thought panicked me sometimes is Mavropanos. I can't work him out yet. Can't work him out if he's good or bad. He's just that type of defender that when he gets the ball, I'm a bit panicky. But yeah, apart from Fabianski pulled off some good saves. It was just a professional job and we got the job done. And it was nice that Moyes could make them substitutions and get like Alvarez off because he was on a yellow card. So if he'd have got a yellow last night, he'd have missed the next round, which would have been huge. So get him off. It was good to get Paquetá off. You know, it was just it's just a great all round. I'm proud of the team, especially after what happened at the weekend against Fulham. It's good to bounce back with a clean sheet and a victory.
Yeah, I mean that it did worry me. As I said, we you know we've got a big week ahead of us, and you know that's the title of the video today. Big week, because you know we have to bounce back in the league if we want to keep up any pressure of achieving. You know, I know people are going to think I'm mad, but you know we are still within the grasp of the 6th place. You know, it's every week there seems to be sort of opportunities open, and nobody seems to be able to capitalise. You've got a Carabao Cup quarter-final, which, you know, if I'm looking at Liverpool last night, they've got their eyes on the league title now. You know, they're firmly in a title race this year, which they was long way out of it, although they're good at Anfield and they like a cup. But, you know, it could be an opportunity now to, you know, to kick on this week with 2 wins. We've got a tough month. Everyone's got a tough month. But, you know, it's a big opportunity now. But I think to get that wrapped up, like we've seen in previous seasons, to get that wrapped up, that European campaign, make sure you're not playing in the next round, making sure, you know, you're skipping around. You don't have to concentrate on that now for 3 months. And I think that's important.
Yeah, massively. And it was, as you said, mate, it's a big week coming up. Liverpool, look, you don't know what team they're going to put out on Wednesday. They've obviously got, like you said, they're in the title race. You know, they've got a big game against Man United on Sunday. So it's a big opportunity for us, you know, because I think if we can get through Liverpool, then you've got to have your eyes on it. You've got to have your eyes on it that you can win it. And it'll be a massive playout.
I'm looking at the teams left. You've got 2 lower league teams. You've got a Chelsea versus Newcastle.
Everton.
Is it?
You've got Everton in as well, when you're.
It's Chelsea Newcastle, isn't it? I'm sure it is. Hold on, let me see. First 8 Carabao Cup. I'm sure I saw it was Chelsea. Someone will tell us in the comments, I'm sure. But there's, you know, Brighton are in it. Brighton and Everton. I think that the last 2. So you look at them. Fulham, Everton, Chelsea versus Newcastle. There we go. Not Brighton at all. What am I talking about? Chelsea, Newcastle, Brighton, Everton. Then you've got 2 lower league teams, and you got to start to think if you you know, we got through Arsenal last round. If you get through the Liverpool test, you know, you got to be confident at least getting to Wembley. At least.
I'll be honest. I think once Manchester City go out of this competition, I think every team sort of sits up a bit further and think, "Oh, we've got a chance now." Because look, we know City have dominated this competition for a number of years. I think we obviously knocked them out. It weren't last year, was it? It was the season before. But you know, it's a great opportunity for us, and it's. I know the league form hasn't been. Well, I say like we're still sitting 3 points off of 5th place. So, you know, when you look at it on paper, it probably ain't as bad as what a lot of people think. I think it's just been the poor football that we've been playing that makes it seem a lot worse than what it actually is. But it's still got the potential to be a great season. I said it when I done my show on Monday. This next week can define our season because we had the Europa League. We've won that group. We don't play till March now. Then obviously we've got a big game on Sunday against Wolves, and then the League Cup against Liverpool on Wednesday. And as you said, mate, it's a massive week for the football club, and it's a week that I'm looking forward to. You know, we said it a lot of many times on this show that when you look at our squad, and especially our starting 11, our strongest starting 11, we have got a decent team that can compete with a lot of teams. You know, but it's that time of year now where you start getting a little bit leggy, and you see that against Fulham. You know, I know you're not using that as excuses, but we had a tough game against Tottenham, and you could see some of them players were leggy and tired. It's no excuses, Fulham played as well, but it's just massive week. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, but I mean, I thought it was a very good performance last night. I'd like to see that approach in some Premier League games. The press. I think when you look at the Fulham game, the space we give them at times was criminal. I'm going to take some comments in a second, but just before that, I've got to speak about this man who's come in, and I don't know whether I can say under the radar because I think we know how good he is, but the goals that Mohamed Kudus is scoring, he's catching up with Bowen. Bowen's been on fire this year, and he's been obviously our main man in attack. But to have someone the quality of Kudus coming in and matching him, that could be a key to success if we can get the ball right. I thought Elton Alvarez last night, as you say, was phenomenal. First goal for him, which is important, which will give him more confidence. You can see that I thought he dominated the midfield. I really do. I think he was a monster in the midfield. Great ball over for Kudus as well. They got that little connection, and it just seems to me, I saw an interview with them two earlier on saying that, Kudus still feels he's settling, and I think Edson Alvarez still feels he's settling, but they're starting to sort of get a grasp of the team, get themselves embedded in the team and getting that sort of telekinetic energy, if you know what I mean. Like they're starting to read each other's games.
Yeah, I mean, Kudus, obviously, he's only scored 2 Premier League goals, so he needs to try to get a few more in the Premier League, but he's scoring in other competitions. So if Bowen's scoring the goals in the Premier League, it's nice to see that we're starting to share the goals this season. Like Souček's got a few, Bowen obviously has got a few, Kudus has got so much more potential in him. He's at a great level at the moment, but I still feel once he goes up that next gear, I think he's going to be unreal for us. And it's frustrating that we're going to lose him in January for the African Cup of Nations. It's fucking, but when you're saying about him and Alvarez, they obviously played together, didn't they, at Ajax? So
yeah,
they've got that connection. And you can see the link-up play as well between like Kudus and the midfield. You see Ward-Prowse straight away last night. Every time Ward-Prowse was getting that ball, first player he was looking for was Kudus on the right, to drift in. Bowen, another one as well. I just love that forward three of Kudus, Bowen and Paquetá, the way they switch play. And you could see it last night. The Freiburg defence didn't know who to pick up. And look, Antonio's meant to be coming back I think he's going to be ready for the Arsenal game. So he's going to be a massive boost to have on the bench. But I don't see him getting straight back in the way these three are playing together. And it's nice that now these, especially our midfield as well, Alvarez, Souček and Ward-Prowse, they're not the most mobile, but they're starting to work as a unit. And that's making a huge difference. And that's why I think that we suffered against Fulham, because we took Alvarez out of that midfield. And that's where you could see the gaps. But we still need, these players ain't going to play every week. So when one of them is injured or suspended, someone else has got to step in and be able to take that role on.
Well, we've got a lot to discuss, mate. Let me take some comments before we move on to the next subject. Hopefully Dan will be joining us very soon. Alvarez was awesome. Going to be some player, Elmation. Yeah, I think he's been very important, Alvarez. I mean, you see how important he was on Sunday. I think he's gone a little bit out under the radar. He was phenomenal at the start. I've got to say as well, when you look at the season as a whole, we've had some phenomenal results this year. We've beaten some big teams, but we've also, got a bit complacent in some of the games that we really should have done better in, like the Palace game, the Everton game, the Brentford game, maybe obviously the Fulham game. Their team, they are the clubs we should be taking points off of, but we've also beaten the likes of Tottenham and Chelsea and Brighton away, like fresh Brighton away. So like it's sort of balancing itself out. If we can get them ones that we're expecting to and combine it with them results, I thought we'd be having a phenomenal season. Look, we're not in any danger. And, hopefully that, once it clicks properly, and maybe Moisey will get a bit comfortable with trusting a few of the fringe players. He's going to have to come to something.
This is why, mate, that I'm not, look, you look at the teams down at the bottom, we've got no fear of relegation this season. That's why I want to go full pelt on this League Cup, because I can take a couple of defeats in the Premier League, because that's the first trophy you can win this season in February. Like, so if we can still have a bit of a mixed Premier League, go full pelt for this League Cup. Go for it against Liverpool. You know?
Yeah. Let me just carry on with these comments, mate. Ain't PSG coming to the Europa League? No, I believe it's AC Milan, which would be a phenomenal day for someone, I'm sure.
There was one point where PSG were going to drop into it, but
they were. Yeah, I thought they dropped in, but they didn't. It was the goal against Newcastle, I think, that sort of dragged them back up. P. Gads, if there was a West Ham United Christmas Carol, would Moyes play Scrooge or the Ghost of Christmas, Ghost of Football Past? Would he play Scrooge or the Ghost? I'd say the Ghost. He wouldn't be Scrooge.
Sullivan would be Scrooge.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
The Football Past, yeah. Well, I don't know. He ain't. I don't know. He's still here, isn't he? So, was there a future one? There was the future Ghost, wasn't there?
Yeah. But yeah, he's definitely the Ghost, and he's not Scrooge. Morning, boys. Great win and good team performance on Thursday, but now back to the usual. I don't know what that means. Back to the usual. Gary Manning said,
"What means getting beat in the Premier League?"
Well, as I say, we'll discuss that in a second. Thoroughly professional job last night. Only disappointment was the low attendance and poor atmosphere. Such a big game. Their fans were unbelievable in comparison. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't. I know you wasn't there last night, mate, but it wasn't fantastic. I must say that. I don't know what it came across on the TV, but I'm going to tell you now, it was, a lot of empty seats, a lot of people. I don't know why they swerved it. Maybe because we was already through. Maybe because it's a Thursday night. We've got a lot of fixtures coming up. Maybe because they're traveling to Liverpool next week. Who knows? You know what I mean? But there was a lot of empty seats, and yeah, the atmosphere is suffering a bit over there. Do you think that we could benefit from having some sort of prompt? And I'm not. Look, I know people are going to say, "Oh, shut up, Nick," with the words and all that. But you see a guy on, they've got a phenomenal atmosphere. Germany have always got phenomenal atmosphere. But they've got guys in there with a megaphone, fucking swinging scarves around and all that. Like, do we need to get a bit of European culture in our ground, bro?
Well, yeah. I mean, look, it come across on the telly. You could see that the empty seats, but and the Freiburg fans. Wherever team we've played in Europe and that, they always bring European fans are different. They do that every home game, like they're bouncing up and down for 90 minutes. We get the ump walking up and down the stairs, let alone fucking jumping up and down for 90 minutes. But yeah, no, they come across great. They had a good. It's funny, isn't it? They can get a big megaphone in the ground, but we can't get bottle caps.
Can't get a pie mash, that's for fucking sure.
Yeah, mad, isn't it? But yeah, no, you're right. I know there's someone on Twitter at the moment. I can't think of their name now. That they're trying to, and he got a lot of stick for it as well. They're trying to get like a little ultra section at West Ham where they bounce. This is what I mean. People moan about the atmosphere, but when someone tries to do something about it, they say, "Oh, that's muggy. That's not West Ham. It's not what we're about." And I'm up for anything that can improve that atmosphere. I'm up for it. If they want to get together and fucking do what the ultra bit where they sing and all that, then good luck to them. But yeah, it was it didn't sound great on the TV. You couldn't hear West Ham. You heard a couple of choruses of bubbles. I just think that the stadium's so big and it's that drowns it out sometimes.
Yeah. Are either you going to Anfield on Wednesday? By the way, the bloke Trevor responsible for me being a Hammer supporter is his 29th birthday this Wednesday. No, I'm not going to Anfield, to be honest. I ain't got the time. I'm going to be totally honest. I haven't got the time. And it's a long way to go for a midweek fixture.
Yeah, nah.
We still do go to work. I'd love to go, but I haven't got the holiday left. I haven't got the time to go. I haven't got the resources to go, to be quite honest with you. So yeah, we'll be doing content from here. Dean OH, the only problem with Alvarez is that that he is old school and the game has got a bit snowflakey. He gets a lot of yellows. He's definitely an old school sort of player. I saw Cornet ball for 3 minutes. I went to sleep a happy man. Yeah, that was a weird substitution. I mean,
that should be on a t-shirt. I saw Cornet play Cornet ball for 3 minutes.
Yeah, well, I was working this out. We're going to be talking about the wages in a second, but we was working out like how much he's cost per minute of football, and it's crazy, crazy. Probably Walnuts. Hopefully, we get a semi-final against Port Vale. That'd be lovely, wouldn't it? Chelsea versus Newcastle. So it is that. Port Vale versus Borough. Steve Tiley, squad needs a total major overhaul in the summer. Cresswell, Bonnet, Antonio, too old for the likes of Kera, Ings, Fornells, Ben Roma, and Cornet moving on. That's 8 places need replacing. Yeah, I mean, when you think about a squad's only 25, I believe, plus some kids, that's a lot of. I think that's a lot of dead wood, in my opinion. Kudus reminds me of a little bit of Sadio Mane. Someone was saying that to me last night. He was a bit like Mane. I could see it. I could definitely see it.
He's got a similar style to him. Let's hope he's half as good as Sadio Mane.
Not a dirty semi, I mean a semi-final. Okay. Happy birthday, Nikki. Thank you very much. Hope you had a good one. I did. Happy 30th, Nikki. Thank you very much. I'm 21, actually. Mr. C says last night was a glimpse of what a team of capable of, says Mr. C. Absolutely. Absolutely. I think I think that's what frustrates a lot of people. That's a long word, Nikki. Did you get that? Did you get a dictionary for your birthday? Yeah. Knowing our luck, Kudus will get injured in the AFCON. I hope not, mate. We're going to suffer without him. I can tell you that now. We need to put all our beans in a bean cup basket, says Dom. Welcome back, Dom. Richard K. Don't 989. I think we need a forward, a number 9. Bowen is doing all the work, and Kudus with Antonio injured. Yeah, do you know what? Right, I was thinking about this, and I was thinking to myself, like, if we did get a centre forward, where would everyone fit? Because I thought, I know Paquetá sort of pushed into the middle on Sunday, and it didn't really work at Fulham at all. But apparently he's been playing with an injury. Like, if we got a proper centre forward and someone a little bit more quality, it gives us a chance to rotate, gives us a chance for Bowen to have a rest and come off the bench. You look at Man City, even when they've got their mainstays like the De Bruyne's and the Haalands, every now and then you'll see them on the bench, give them a little bit of respite. If bring them on if you need. That's the sort of quality we need to get. Bowen doing all the work and Kudus and Antonio injured. We've got with Kudus all the work and Kudus with Antonio injured. We've got no strike threat. So I say sell Ings and use Ings and the rest of the Rice money to buy Tony. Tony. No way. Never going to buy Tony. Not in January, that's for sure. Like what the money they're asking for him.
Sorry, mate. Just quickly, people like with Ivan Tony and that. Did you see the new changes that are coming into the Premier League now that you can't spread? Like what Chelsea were doing when they were spreading the money over like 8 years. You can only do it now to a maximum of 5 years. And funny enough, Chelsea voted in favour of that. So that's because all the previous ones
done their business.
Yeah, the previous ones don't count. So it's it's going to be interesting because I don't see how that's going to benefit like lower teams that can't afford. Because if you could spread it over 8-10 years, then these smaller teams can go out and buy bigger and better players. But it's more of an advantage for the top 6 again, isn't it? And the big spenders. So yeah, be interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got something to mention before we go on to the next subject. Can you hear me? Sorry.
Yeah, go on, mate. Sorry, it broke up.
Yeah, we're moving on there. You wanted to say something. We needed to put something up.
Yeah, one of our mates messaged us yesterday. Obviously, a lot of people would have seen that little boy that was a mascot for the Crystal Palace home game, little Oscar. 13 years old, plays for West Ham. Been at West Ham for 5 years, I think, isn't it? Something like that. He's a goalkeeper. Got to walk out with Areola. Look, he's obviously terrible time for him at the moment. He's got a brain tumor, and the family are raising money. They've got a charity game on Sunday. I know West Ham are playing at home on Sunday, but there is a charity game. As you can see there, it's in Pitsea. So after the game, or if you're around that area, try to get down there. It's a benefit. Kids are free. You can see there they've got DJ from 7, so probably it's going to be a late one. Unfortunately, it has fallen on the day. I think West Ham, I think this was organised before West Ham versus Wolves was moved. But yeah, it's a tragic story. And you know, the kid, you know, he plays for West Ham. You know, he's suffering at the moment. The family is suffering. And obviously, I know that there's a lot of kids suffering out there. But when it's someone you know knows them, you sort of, you know, you feel it a bit more. And yeah, it's a sad story. And there is a GoFundMe page as well. And I'll put the link in the comments, and I'll put it in the description after. So I know it's a tough time of year, but you know, if just anything will do, just anything to go towards, you know, it's a tough time. You can read the story about Oscar as well on his GoFundMe page, and it's a tragic story. But he's a fighter, you know, he's a goalkeeper. Most goalkeepers are nutters anyway, and they say he's a fighter. He's in good spirits, and yes, just anything will help. Anything.
Yeah, it's part of the academy, mate. It's it's a good cause. If you're not going to the game at all, just get down there. And if you are going to the game, go and check out the GoFundMe page. And as I say, like, you know, donate if you can. What do you come dressed as?
Hey,
Eric Ten Hag, isn't it?
Yeah, apparently Ten Hag. It's Ten Hag. I've just come back from Manchester United. They've fired me from the job, so I'm looking for the West Ham job. Maybe
You look like a smart Dr. Evil.
Yeah,
You look like Dr. Evil, who's nicked Columbo's jacket.
Columbo, I need this cigar.
Dad, we just finished out on a European competition and the big week ahead for West Ham. We're getting on to the wages now. Listen, I don't know whether you got a copy of this wage thing, and we can put it up on the screen. But the wages come out this week. I've seen this being sort of touted about and people whinging about it. I don't think people should be whinging about how much footballers earn, because that is what they earn. That's what they pull in. You know, I know you've got the women's game, the men's game, and all that sort of thing. But at the end of the day, that is what they earn, and that is what they've negotiated. It's not their fault that they're earning that money. That's what the club were willing to give them at the time. Although I must say it is a shocking read, some of the wages that some of them, you know, for the minutes they're playing, are playing. I think it's like, you know, obviously the most prominent on there is going to be Danny Ings, who come in January, £125,000 a week. You know, minutes wise, not really giving sort of value for money. Tilo Kehrer, who we see in the first, do you know what? I've actually forgot all about him until last night when he walked on the pitch. £85,000 a week. Maxwell Cornet, who's obviously featured very, very little, £65,000 a week. It was a shocking read to see what they're paying players that they obviously don't, you know, trust. And the thing is about that is, how do we shift these players? You know what I mean? Like, if they're earning so much money, they've not been put in the. There we go. There's the look. Danny Ings is up there, £125,000. Kurt Zuma, same, which you got to say, you know, is worth it. Bowen, Areola, 120 grand for Areola. That's a lot of money, but as I said, yeah, you should put it like that. Emerson, 95, Alvarez, 100,000. Kudus earns less than Alvarez, which that's mad. Antonio, 85, Kehrer, 80, Obona, 70. You know, there's some 65 for now, 65.
What, can we have a shout out for Soufal on 35 grand a week?
Yeah, that's the big shocker for me, Soufal.
He loves it as well.
Yeah, he's been one of our best players this season, and he's one of our, you know, lowest paid players. Shocking for that one. But yeah, Danny Ings is the real tough one to take, because the thing is, Nick, contrary to what you've just said, I actually agreed with what you said on the fan cam yesterday, where you said, you know, where we've got FFP considerations, that's where fans care about wages. Because look, if we had an infinite pot of money, it's not our money. We don't have to worry about what we're spending on these things. But when you do have to consider a wage budget that we have, and then FFP on top of that, and you look at deadwood like Danny Ings, and whether it's his fault or not, that's what he is. Being one of our highest paid players, you think, geez, what a waste of money that is. And that's the concern there. What a panic buy that was. It's going to go down as one of our worst signings, I think.
I think this is a good point.
Yeah,
sorry, mate, go on.
No, I was just going to say about Danny Ings. I think Danny Ings will be gone in January anyway.
Who do you think will do it? They'll pay him now?
Well, I've heard. I mean, we'll go through this list in a minute to see who we should be shifting out and how much money we can save. But Danny Ings is a strange one, because I said this at the beginning of the season. Southampton went down. It'd be perfect for Southampton.
Well, that's who he's linked with. That's who he's linked with. That's who he's linked with. Southampton.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, and I said that in the summer.
He's going to have to take a massive wage cut.
Well, but this is it. This is it. You know, is Danny Ings going to be honest with himself and think, well, you know, I've had my good run. I've had another year of a lot of money. 12.5, sort of about 14 million quid off West Ham. You know, is it time now to sort of like start winding it down and all that? Is he honest with himself? Is it we're using him wrong? I don't know. You know, it's a matter of opinion. But how are we going to get someone to take him for if he sticks to that, you know, that figure? Who's going to take him? That's the problem. That's the problem.
This is the thing. I can see us getting shafted in a bloody loan situation where we pay a portion of the wages. That wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, you need to do that. I think this is a good point as well, and I think this shows how West Ham sometimes don't do the best business. How did O'Connor keep £70,000 a week contract when he signed a 1-year extensions? I thought that would have reduced his money right down to keep him at the team as a bit popular. Yeah, I think, as I said, like O'Connor should have been shifted on. I think like last season, he's seen his best days. He's been a brilliant servant, but re-signing him at £70,000 a week for someone that they know he's not going to play. He didn't play a lot last season. He didn't play a lot the season before because of an injury. This season, barely seen him. £70,000 a week is a lot of money. We don't, you know, if you're going to sign your extensions when you get to that age, should they be turning around to players and saying, well, you know, we'll sign you on an extension, but you've got to take 35 because you're not going to be playing as much. You're not going to be, you know, as involved or as important. Take it or leave it. You know, that I think that's bad business.
Yeah, but I don't know what Ogbonna was on before, so he might have taken a wage cut. But 70 grand a week still a lot for, especially when you consider Sue Fowles on 35 grand a week, and he's a regular first team. He's our first choice right back. Yeah, I mean, look, some of them wages are ridiculous, but as you said, mate, it's what's offered to them, innit? Like, they're not going to turn it down if it's offered to them. Danny Ings, I think, will be one of the first out the door in January, and I hope that we can get their whole wages off the books, and we haven't got to obviously pay half of it or whatever. I know that we've been linked with a couple of Southampton players, so it might be, I think we're linked with their right back. Is it Peters or someone?
Yeah.
There's another player as well that we're linked with, which obviously could work out for us because obviously Downs is already there, and if we could give Danny Ings as part of the deal to get that off our books, what did we pay for him? 15 million. So
yeah, something like
we're not going to get much money back for him, if anything. But Southampton have got some good talent in their team. So if we could raid them for a couple of their players, then yeah, I'm all for that because we need to strengthen in January, and plus they can play in Europe as well because they've been in the Championship. So they could be key squad players going forward as we march on the European journey again.
Well, let's hope it is true and we can shift him because, like I said, even though we need to sign another striker regardless, it is just dead weight at this point, really and truly. So yeah, with January we're going to need to free up some stuff, so some wages, so we can bring players in because that's going to be key. We now don't play in Europe, which you've probably talked about, until February, March. Yep. So March. So now for that second half of this Europa League campaign, with the tough teams that are in it, we need to strengthen.
Do you know what? When I look at the teams that are left in Europe now and the dropouts as well, I'm quite excited to try to get one of these big teams. You know, Imagine playing like I know people were saying about AC Milan, but imagine West Ham playing AC Milan like at San Siro. Like there's only things that we could dream of a few years ago, and now we've proved we can mix it with like the bigger teams in Europe. Like look when we beat Seville and Lyon, you know, it's mad how far we've come as a club in Europe. Because I was saying before, under Bilic, we couldn't even get through the qualifiers, you know. So and now we've won three leagues in a row, 3 groups, and yeah, it's just brilliant for the football club. And yeah, and I'm looking forward to it. As you said, it's nice now that we missed that playoff round. We go straight into the last 16, and you get a good draw there, and then you're in the quarterfinals again. And then once again, you can start dreaming of playing in European final again. But it's going to be a lot tougher. I think there's some quality in this competition, but it's good to be in the mix. It's good to be in the mix.
I'll be honest. Just before going off subject a bit, but it's not the European teams that worry me. Like if AC Milan, we played AC Milan, they wouldn't worry me. Like even though we might lose, I don't think we'd get humiliated by someone AC Milan. I think the Lyon game and the Seville game a couple of years ago, did prove that we can go toe to toe with these. I think the Fiorentina game was the final proved we could do that. Do you know what worries me is someone like a fucking Brighton or a Liverpool coming up, because they're the teams that we'll lose to if we come up against them. They're the ones that will fucking bring our European campaign down. It won't be an AC Milan or someone like that. It'll be someone like a poxy Brighton.
No, that's what I was saying to Dan when you looked at then that West Ham playing against AC Milan wouldn't worry me playing them, because I think that we're good enough to beat them. It's just the what do you call it? The experience of playing AC Milan in a European competition, West Ham at the San Siro. Like even when PSG were nearly dropping into the Europa League, it sort of excited me to think, imagine West Ham come up against PSG. Like that's what you're in these. That's what you're in these competitions for. You want to play the big teams. Obviously, you want to avoid them as long as you can. But the further we go in this competition, I think that our team is good enough to do well in it. But it's going to be a lot tougher than it was last time. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, 100%. And yeah, it's I just hope we can go as far as possible. It's great to avoid that next round, and it is a good achievement. Top in the group 3 times running, and Moyes has to get credit for that. But I was sort of amused at some of the responses from certain people, including Nicky's mate, West Ham Central, coming out and saying, well, if we get rid of Moyes, we can kiss Europe goodbye for the future. We'll never get nights like these again. And I'm like, what a downer. Like, we're just, qualified, top the group again. We're missing around. We've got knockout stages to look forward to. And people's first thoughts are, oh, yeah, we won't get this again in the future when Moyes goes. It's like, oh, great, yeah. Bring a dampener on it. I find that so strange. It's like, okay, I get it. You like the manager, and that is a great achievement he's done. But to sit there and say, and then he had the audacity to say, it's a fact. It's a fact we won't get Europe again without Moyes. It's like, what? Do you even know what a fact is? It just baffles me, the attitude. So you can celebrate what someone's done, but I think it's crazy to say we'll never get Europe again. You could have said, before, we'll never get Europe when we was down in the dumps, when we first moved to this stadium. Could you imagine never getting Europe? So who knows what the future holds?
I think it's crazy. I do think it's crazy that, and I think it's a bit short-sighted. Look, we've all got differences of opinions. The Moyes debate it worries me. It does worry me, because I think people take it personally, and they think it's a personal attack on them. They think me saying Moyes out is me personally saying that the person saying Moyes in is wrong. It's not. Your opinion can't be wrong. You know what I mean? It can't be. Because it's your opinion, and the only one that has to validate it is you. If in your mind you can work out why, and you can argue the reasons, I think some people just say things for effect, and they don't really think about it. They have this sort of like one-tracked mind. But your opinion, if you've got an opinion about something, it can't be wrong. And as long as you can argue it and back it up and you believe in it, your opinion is the most valid opinion in the world. You know, as long as it's made in good faith. So
Yeah.
you know, when you know the stuff with Central, look, I've got a thick skin. You know what I mean? Like I've got a thick skin. I've been around for a long time. You know, my face has been on hundreds and thousands of videos over the you know the last 10 years or whatever. You know,
And milk
10,000. Huh?
And milk cartons.
And milk cartons, yeah. But it's you know, it's been, people know me. They know what I look like. You know, if you watch the content, you'd recognize me. You know, I'm not hiding from anyone. You know, and that's where I back my opinion up. You know, and you know, I get personally attacked. You know, saying with the Central thing, saying I'm a fat prick or whatever he called me, or a bald prick or a bald prat or whatever he called me.
Pratt,
That
yeah,
doesn't
bald.
offend me. That doesn't offend me because I'm bald. And if you think I'm a prat, I'm a prat. That's it. You know what I mean?
Like, you are a prat.
Yeah, I am. Sometimes I am a prat. You know, but sometimes we're all prats. That doesn't offend me. The thing that I took exception to is that he does that in front of 100,000 people. He quote tweets it, and he's very good at this. That boy is that he quote tweets it and he puts it in front of 100,000 people, and then 2 minutes later, he's in my DMs apologising to me. You know, making me look in public, but retracting it in private. Everyone still thinks I'm a fool. You know, I'm not stupid. I wasn't born yesterday. You know, and listen, I can have a sharp tongue, and I can have a bad temper, and I can have a horrible demeanor about me. I can really get under people's skin. Like, you know, that Alan Mazepia caught wind of it a couple of years ago when he got under my skin, you know. So, like, listen, I know you got a big platform. I know you want clicks. I know you want likes. I know you want to get validation, and you want to, you know, engage in conversation, get people talking about it. You know, you want some people, you know, you want the people that think I'm a nice guy to fucking defend me. You want the people to think that I'm a bald prat to side with you, and it, you know, creates that engagement. But trust me, you don't want to fuck with me, because if you get on the wrong side of me, I'm just gonna go at you and I won't stop. You know, and I'll bring him to tears, and I'm not gonna punch him. You know what I mean? Like, I put that up to sort of prove a point. I'm not going to punch anyone. That's not the way I do things. I don't go around punching people in the mouth because they don't agree with my opinion or they think I'm a prat. But the difference between me and him is he's been trying to hide his identity for a long time because he's insecure about the way he looks, right?
This is what I've said to you yesterday, Nick. Like, that's why I said don't worry about him, because it was only the other month he was crying about mental health and all that.
Him about the way he looks,
then he insults people. Like, that's why I just don't engage with people like that. It's not worth it.
No. But the thing is, it's like you said, it's so easy to, you know, like you said, if you wanted to go in on him, because I remember it was a year or so, a few years ago, I had a run-in with him, and he was a bit of a twat about it. So I was just on it. Every stupid thing he tweeted or whatever, I was fucking just on it, basically, making him look a fool. And he DM'd me. He was like, what's your fucking problem? Like, why are you, having a go at me? I was like, well, this is why, blah, blah, blah. Then he was like, all right, well, let's have a truce, and blah, blah, blah. So he couldn't handle that heat, but then he's happy to put it on other people and quote tweet and go, oh, look at this, everyone jump on him, which made me laugh because he tried to orchestrate a pile on you, and everyone was going, who are you to talk about anyone's appearance, you fat ginger mess? And people were saying to him. So I just think if you can't take it and you cry about, oh, people were affecting my mental health and things like that, if you say that, watch how you treat other people.
The whole mental health thing, right? Some people say it without knowing what they're fucking talking about. Because you'll see someone that's got in their bios like advocate for mental health is important, and they're the ones doing the attacking to other people. If you're doing that, you're a hypocrite. You're a hypocrite. Don't whinge about your mental health or the heat you're getting, and then try and orchestrate that onto someone else. Look, I don't give a shit. You know what I mean? My mental health is in a decent state, and I'm in a decent place. I'm secure. I'm content with my appearance. I'm content with my life. If you want to call me a bald prat, I'm a bald prat. You know what I mean? I don't get offended by things like that because it doesn't affect me that way. It affects different people. But if you've been attacked like that and you didn't like it, why try and do it to someone else?
Over a fucking football opinion. Do you know what I mean? Like
yeah.
you didn't abuse Moyes. You never said Moyes is a prick. And it made me laugh as it was so up in arms over you saying you could have managed you could have managed us to win that.
I understand it was the comment. What is that beeping? Some people talking about the beeping. What is the beeping?
I can't hear beeping. Can you hear beeping?
I can hear beeping. I didn't know.
Can you hear beeping, Nick?
It sounds like when something's
printing on a hospital.
No, it sounds like when something's printing, but it's taking ages to print, like on a printer. I thought I was hearing things, and I'm glad someone else said it.
Yeah, it sounds like someone's on a hospital monitor.
You can hear it, Nick. Maybe it's me then.
Yeah, I think it is you. Yeah, some people say it sounds like a life support machine. Someone's reversing a truck. Maybe it's me just backing up with my fat ass.
You did make me laugh when you said that, Nick. When you said I could have managed us to win that trophy, I thought
no.
You couldn't even manage Thames Ironworks to win 2 games in a row.
People took that so literally. They really thought, "Wow, he thought."
Look, when I said that, right, I was just getting the point. Is I don't think that will be. David Moyes is the only option, and that's what he said yesterday about David Moyes. He's the only option, and I don't want to keep him going back to this. But he said, like, if Moyes goes, that's it for us. Well, no, you can't say that because someone could come in and get into the Champions League. You can't just turn around and go, if Moyes goes, that's the end of European. You can't say that. And look, as I said yesterday in my tweets, me saying I could have done that is like me. It's like someone else saying, "Oh, fucking hell, how's he missed that? My nan could have scored that. Your nan couldn't have scored it." Don't take it literally. It's not a literal comment to make. You know what I mean? Like, it was just a point. Is like, we was one of the favourites, and I think another manager could have won it. But that's just my opinion. Other people
say it all the time. I could manage Real Madrid to win the league, to win La Liga.
Yeah,
say that all the time.
Yeah, I couldn't. I wouldn't last fucking 5 minutes in West Ham. I'd probably fucking collapse after the first day. It must be hard work. But anyway, fuck that. Anyway, get that list back up. That wages list. Let's have a little go through here before we go through the comments to see who, if you would, let's play a game. Buy or sell, sell or keep, right? For the wages, right? Ryan, you go first. Paquetá, 150.
Oh, sell him. No, I'll keep him. Of course, I'll keep him. Yeah, it'd be easier for me to say Ings, sell. Cornet, I'll get rid of. Creswell. Yeah, that's it really. I think everyone else is sort of on fair wages because the top earners are starting, like, our best players apart from Danny Ings. I think Kera's a good squad player. Yeah, probably Fornals maybe if we can get some money for him. But apart from that, when you look at Fornals, 65 grand a week, I know it's mad, but it's not really that much money, really. Because football players these days, I thought he was on more than that, to be honest. Fornals. But I think Cornet never plays, never gets a chance. Creswell, he's old now. Well, I say old, he's 34, but I'm
surprised he's only on a 50,000 Creswell.
Yeah, I'd give Soufal a bit more money. I'd definitely give Mubama a bit more money. I can't believe Connor Coventry's on more than Mubama.
Yeah, I know, it's mad, isn't it? I can't hear Dan, but is Dan talking?
I don't know.
He hasn't signed a new contract.
No, that's what I'm saying. But even then, like, if I was him, I'd be getting rid of. I'll be giving him what Cornet's on. I'll be giving Mubama 65 grand a week to keep him. But
I think Areola's wage is a bit crazy
for a goalkeeper.
Yeah, for a goalkeeper, I think that's a bit mad.
We didn't pay that much for him, did we?
And the thing is, he was at PSG. He must have been on.
And he's a World Cup winner.
Yeah, he is a World Cup winner.
And he's our number one.
No, he lost the World Cup.
No, he won the World Cup with France.
Did he? What, the last one? Did he?
No, not last one. The one before that, when they beat... Who they beat in the final when Pogba scored? In Russia, wasn't it? Russia.
Yeah, the Russia one, yeah. Croatia.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah. I would be going Ings. Antonio, no, I would keep him, Antonio. Kehrer, definitely I'd be out the door. Oh, Bonner, you got to give him to the end of the season now. Fornals, I'll try and get a bit of money for. Cornet, I'll try and get a bit of money for. Not in January, but over the season. Benrahma, I think you could get a lot of interest in Benrahma, and I think that could be a decent transfer fee as well. Cresswell wouldn't have even entertained keeping him. Johnson, maybe. That's a lot of players, isn't it? Like, because when I look at that, when you think about, who plays on the regular, like there's player like people like here. I can't believe 80 grand a week and he barely gets minutes. Cornet, 65, barely gets minutes. Surely we could be putting that money to better use.
Yeah, you could clear up a decent $500,000 a week, right? From getting rid of like Ings, flipping Kehrer, Cresswell, Cornet. You're clearing a few of this. That's $500,000 every week. That's big money, And I like Cornet. I don't think he's got a fair shake of it at the stick or whatever the saying is. And Moyes just don't seem to fancy him. He's just something different.
I will say this, right? If we don't end up selling Cornet in January, I can see Cornet being the breakout star when everyone goes to the African Cup of Nations and he's forced to play.
But like, he's going to have to get up to speed. It's going to take him. He can't, like, he's not played hardly any game minutes like all season. All of a sudden now, like say AFCON comes, all right, go on Cornet. Like, it's going to take him a while, and that's the problem with, like we've said, the lack of rotation. And it's a tough one. But I mean, look, hopefully, if Mubama signs his new deal, he's going to shoot right up as well. Johnson was offered a new contract, and I think he turned it down. He's on his last year, so I think his contract's up at the end of the season. Johnson,
right? So
desperately going to need a right back.
Just say, for instance, we get rid of all them, right? So we clear up as much. This is a problem. What proper striker would you guys want in January? And I see another one saying, and if we do sign one, who loses his place? It's a good point.
I don't think we'll go out and we'll get a big money striker, because I think that Moyes will be happy with what we've got in Antonio Cornet. Antonio Kudus and Bowen. But I think that in the summer we'll definitely have to go out and get a big name striker. But I can't see that happening in January.
No, I think we can sign one in January. I don't think we're capable of doing that, to be honest with you.
I don't think we need to necessarily sign a big name, big money striker. I think if we've been doing our homework, I think Stuyton can go and find, a decent price striker out there in Europe. And some bloke was saying to me, like, well, we can't. Who can we sign for under 35 million? There are no striker. You tell me a striker, like, just because the thousands of strikers there are in the world, but we should only go for the ones that we're aware of and a big name.
No, yeah, there's probably a few gems out there that we've never even heard of or seen play.
Yeah, I said this before.
Yeah, Tim Stuyton's probably been scouting them for a long time. Yeah,
get the right profile of striker in. Don't look at how many goals has he scored in the Premier League? How many is like what are his attributes? We need someone who can do that similar job of an Antonio, someone who can lean the line on his own, who's got a bit of pace, who's got a bit of strength, and hold the ball up. We know what we need, and Ings is the antithesis of that. And
I also think as well, mate, is that I think that if Ings does go, for me, I think it would be good for Mabama because he steps up. And if we bring in someone else, he's going to get less game time, which then he's not going to want to sign a new contract and he'll want out of the football club. Because I think Mabama's good enough to play now. So I'd like to see him get a chance.
Well, I want to see before January. I need to see more of him getting more game time. That means coming on earlier off the bench, coming on more often off the bench each game, and then have that confidence that they're going to go, do you know what? He is our guy. We don't need someone. But,
I'd like to see him get a start on against Liverpool in the cup.
Yeah, I don't see why not, to be honest. And yeah, he needs these big moments, these big games. But Solanke, I look at that comment and I just think value for money. I think it just doesn't, for what they'll want in January. I think that's mad because then he becomes our big, like Solanke's it. Forget about the summer and getting a top striker in the summer. It's Solanke's it now.
I think their chairman come out the other day and said that Solanke's not for sale. So if West Ham want him, they're going to have to pay big bucks. You're talking like 60 million plus, which I think Solanke's decent, but not for that money.
Yeah, and that's the thing. You end up in an English situation.
Not when you're getting someone like Kudus for 45. I'm sorry, but no. You know, I think Europe would be a destination where we could find someone. I don't think it'd be in January. I see Claret and Boozer in the chat. I'm assuming that's Nick. And he says, welcome, gents. We'll get a loan striker in, I reckon. Can see Werner happening on a loan.
Oh, yeah, please listen. Please tell me you boys watched Nick's review last night when he turned into Frank Bruno halfway through it.
What?
His voice changed. It was the funniest thing, and fair play to him. He's kept it up, so go and have a watch of it. But halfway through, his voice changes. And I'll tell you what, let me see if I can get it now.
I wonder if that's like what used to happen with my mic.
Remember with Dan? It used to happen to Dan, didn't it? When he used to go like that geezer off Home Alone, you know? When he slowly...
Be quiet. Sorry, Nick. Ready?
Approached it. We completely dominated them. I know Arsenal, you could argue, are a better level of opposition, but I don't know. Are they up front?
Quite often, we looked shit against Fulham, didn't we? You know? When you're outplayed, you tend to look a bit crap. We outplayed them. You know, we took the wind out of themselves. They're not a crap team.
And that carried on for the rest of the show. That only happened 8 minutes.
No, it didn't. No one mentioned it.
I don't know if he could see any in the comments, but honestly, it was brilliant. And he uploaded another one after, but he kept that one up. And honestly, it was brilliant. And
he sounds like a kidnapper, doesn't he? He sounds like a kidnapper going, I've got your son. If you want to see him again.
Yeah, I've got David Moyes and he's locked up in the cupboard.
Yeah.
Brilliant, man. It was so funny. Honestly, I was in tears. It was, but it's good. It's good. You know, that's what I like about it. Like, you can take the piss out of themselves. You know, I've done it on my show. I fuck up. I keep it in because it just shows that we're not professionals. You know, we're all here to take the piss out of ourselves, and that's what it's all about. But it was so funny. It was funny, mate. Honestly, it was hilarious and fair play to him. I think he had 3 attempts at doing the review last night, and I think the last one he just gave up. He was just like, "Fuck it, whatever happens, happens." Now the house sets on fire. Fuck it, I'll let it burn. I'll carry on.
I think that's part and parcel of it. I've made mistakes. I remember there was one time that I used to do a bit of editing for Ryan. I used to be green screen and stuff like that. Like, you know, this is a green screen. It's not a room. It's a green screen. And yeah, that's what I promise. It is. It's a green screen. No, some people do ask me when I go over there. They ask me like, you know, where I get stuff in this room, and I said, "There's no room there."
Do they not wonder why you're like phasing in and out of the background, like why half your head's disappearing?
Well, they probably don't watch for more than 10 minutes, or they piss when they watch it. I don't know, mate. But some people ask me, you know, where did I get the stuff? And I said, no, there ain't stuff there. It's you know, it's all fake. I remember this one time when we used to do it, and I was it was early dawn, and I was fucking about with effects. I was trying to make it a little bit more sort of dynamic.
I know exactly what you're going to say.
When Ryan flips in, and it looks like he comes out of the cupboard.
Yeah, he looks like a spin out of the cupboard.
And then I used to do this thing every week where Ryan used to send me some videos, and again it'd be green screened before he had his room up, and I'd sort of send them back to him for approval. But I used to do stupid things every week. So I used to do like, he used to go, "Is this all right, mate?" And then like it'd be him doing a review, but he's driving a car and a dinosaur was chasing him. Do you remember when I used to do that? Right?
Yeah. And then
When I
remember that time you put me in bed with fucking Bobby Norris.
Bobby Norris, yeah. And
To be fair,
yeah,
I'd take that.
mad things, yeah. But yeah, there was ones that but you know, the one where he looked like he comes out of the cupboard. Just it's part of learning, man.
People think mine's a green screen. Look, I promise you, it's not. Look.
Nah, I don't believe it. That's all special effects right there you're doing there.
I've got a Tony Gal book. I've still got Scott's one. Is this Scott's one here? I know that one's mine, but I've still got Scott's one. That's what we got from that E13 event. Good old Tony Gal. I ain't even read it yet. I don't read books anyway. I just bought it because I felt he was selling them and I was standing there and I felt guilty. I just got a score out.
I need to know what effect and how does he get that effect on there?
What effect?
You know, the voice effect.
Oh, I don't know. It was brilliant though.
Sounds like it was an accident.
Yeah, he's obviously hit a button, isn't he? But how the fuck did he do that? How would I do it now? You know what I mean? Yeah. We're starting to wrap up now, gents. If you want to search for any comments that you want to answer quickly before we go. Nikki, I really liked your video with the Spud TV boys. Really good interview. Imagine doing that with the likes of Ty of AFT TV before a derby game. Do you know what? I see Ty the other day, right? And he come in and he was moaning about something. It was when they lost to Villa and he'd fucking been moaning about Villa, right? And he said, and blah, blah, blah. They won't get any respect for, or credit from me, right? And I thought to myself, I said to him, when have you ever give credit to anyone? Is there any game that you've ever give credit to anyone? And he couldn't. I said, name me one team you give credit to. And he had to dig down in the memory. And he went, I give credit to Chelsea once when we drew 0-0. But it was about 10 years ago.
He's a weird mad character, isn't he? I don't even know what he was blaming. What was he going on about Villa? I see it on something on Twitter, but yeah, I think Robbie coming out with blaming the wind last week while they lost. I think that was an all-time low for Robbie.
Yeah, well, that's it. He went to Ty. He channeled his inner Ty. I couldn't believe that, but. Very, very, very positive now. This is Benny plus 50 million for Ivan Toney.
You know, I'll definitely do that. 100%. I love Ben Rama, but Ivan Toney for me. It's going to be interesting to see how he comes back because obviously he hasn't played for a long time. And I know he's been keeping himself fit, but being in the gym and being on the pitch are two different things. So be interesting, but I can just see him going to Arsenal. I think Arsenal are destined to get him. So
that's if he goes anywhere. He may not go anywhere. You know, you got to think about FFP and all that with Arsenal as well, because they just signed 165, about 200 million pounds worth of players in the summer.
Well, they had to loan Raya from Brentford because they couldn't afford to buy him because of FFP. So unless they shift some players,
but this could do something in our favour. Like, would you take Nketiah? You know, Nketiah. I like the look of Nketiah. I think he'd suit West Ham.
The thing is, he misses a lot of chances, and then how many chances are you going to get at West Ham?
He plays every fucking week.
Yeah, but see, thing is with Nketiah, I'd rather have Mubama.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm a massive fan of Mubama. I just love the way he is. I love the way he plays. I love the way he tries. He runs. You know, he's young. He's got a passion for the game now. He wants to prove himself. I think that's like when you got someone like that on the bench, someone like Nketiah who will probably come in and be on the same sort of money as what Danny Ings is on. He'll be 100 grand a week plus. I don't see the point of signing someone like that.
Yes, that's
No,
I
do agree, but listen, I can't. The only thing is, I can't see him, but Mubama getting regular minutes. I really can't.
Yeah, but then
finds a way to, he always finds a way to sort of like downplay him, or I don't know. I just don't trust that he's going to get the minutes that he needs.
I know I've seen a couple of comments there saying Mubama's not ready yet. I'm not having that. I'm not having that. If he had a run in the first team, he'll be ready.
You
He'll be
can't
ready.
judge him off of like 15-minute cameos here and there. Do you know what I mean? And say, nah, yeah, like, you know, he didn't
Hold on
do
a
this or didn't do that. You know, when
Forest
I want to
equalised.
see him. What's that?
No, sorry. I said Forest
I've said-
equalised, but now 2-0 to Tottenham. I don't understand
Yeah,
how that
the
works.
goal got ruled out for offside. It was offside, their goal. But yeah, I want to see Mubama get a few starts like in a row, let him build up a bit of momentum. But yeah, what people are saying, this Werner loan, I would take it. I would not want to sign Timo Werner on a permanent on the wages that he's on and, you know, the money it would cost. But, you know, on a loan and to see how he did. And if he bangs like goals in, then you go, maybe he's
Who's that other player we've been linked with from Ajax? The one that played for Tottenham. Is it Steven Bergwijn?
Bergwijn, yeah. Bergwijn.
Oh, bloody Bergwijn. I don't know. I feel like we've taken all their good players. They're shit now. Ajax, now we're scraping the barrel.
I think they got the ump with us.
Oh yeah, we've well and truly fucked them. They'll get Ten Hag back and he'll sort them out, or I'll go and I'll pretend I'm Ten Hag.
That's going to be an interesting game. I know we've got a lot of football to play before then, but that's going to be an interesting game when we play Man United because they've got so many injuries. You know, we haven't ever give Man United a good spanking in the league. I know we beat them 4-1 or 4-0 in the cup a few years ago. Well, I say a few years ago. It was about 12 years ago now, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But we've never given them a good hiding in the league. And if there's one team I like to get a good scoring, a high score against would be Man United at home. Because as I said before, ever since I was a kid, my favourite game is I love playing Man United because I know they're not as good now, but they're still Manchester United. And whenever we beat them, even like last year when we beat them 1-0, when Ben Rama scored, remember when it come off the Haya and went in? And I just love beating Man United and to get one over on them and do it comfortably with a big scoreline like 4 or 5-0. I'd love to see that.
I think we could sack Ten Hag, to be honest. I think we could sack him.
That's my worry. That's my worry that they're going to get a good hiding at Anfield on Sunday again, and then they're going to sack him. They're talking about bringing Graham Potter in, which I don't think he'll do. I don't think he'll succeed there because the fans won't have it.
I'm telling you, like, it don't matter what manager they get. It's going to be the same cycle there because the players aren't as good as they think they are. They ain't got good players. I tweeted this out, and people were saying like, "Oh, the lack of self-awareness," as if like West Ham are in the same situation. Like our players are shit, you know, and we sacked Moyes and what? It was weird. My point was, nothing's going to change it in Man United. Not necessarily saying Ten Hag don't deserve to be sacked, but we know how this story goes. They go get another manager, they get all excited, new process, and then they get a couple of results. They start thinking things are better, and then they.
The arrogance of their fans is mad.
I think I said the other day, Nick, right? That they've lost the same amount of home games since Ferguson retired than what Ferguson lost in his whole 20-odd years.
Career, yeah. That's crazy.
You know what? I did a show, right, with a Europe show with a Man United fan. Every week, everyone comes on and they go into massive detail after Man United have lost. Like, oh my God, like the Glazers, the manager, blah, blah, blah. I said, why do we keep doing this? Why do we come on and act surprised? Why do we act like this is a big scandal that Manchester United have lost again? This is normal now. This is reality. This is the team they are. They're not that team anymore. They're not the top elite team. They haven't been for a very long time. So let's stop acting surprised every time they fucking lose a game and have a big fucking analysis and think piece on them every time they lose. Because they're just basically...
I see Flex on Twitter. Flex, I love Flex. And Flex, to be fair, is one of the more down-to-earth Man United fans, you know. Always got a lot of respect for Flex. And, you know, I've worked with Flex in the past. But, you know... I've seen Flex go through the same cycle all the time. You know, we need a reset. And then the other day, you know, 18 months ago, whenever it was, when Ten Hag come in, he was, this is the start we need. This is the fresh start we need. And all of a sudden, the other day, it's like we need a reset. Man, he wants more resets than my fucking dodgy Chinese gaming box. You know what I mean? Like, you know, the one I bought from Temu. You know, the one that you play a game and you have to reset it every time. It's more resets than that. You know, they can't just keep on going over and over and over again and resetting and selling everyone and buying everyone. Fact of the matter is they've invested very poorly.
Yeah,
Very poorly.
yeah, they've spent a lot of money over the last, say, 5, 6, 7 years, and you know, look, Man United is still a massive football club. They're commercially one of the biggest football clubs in the world still, but they're people have that time, and the reason why their fans now are so the way they are is because they grew up Man United winning everything. Man United win everything. Now they can't take it whenever. When was the last time they won the league? In 2012, wasn't it? When Ferguson retired.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of them supported Man United, started supporting Man United because they won everything. That was
and you look now what they've seen in the last 10 years. They've seen their neighbours that never used to win anything dominating and winning everything. So now, like, everyone has their periods. Liverpool had the 70s and 80s, Man United 90s. Then you had Arsenal come through. Then you had Chelsea and Man City now. And look, will Man United get back to being a top club that will challenge for the league? Of course they will, but it might be another 5-10 years before that happens.
Same as Liverpool with 30 years.
Yeah, you can't keep sacking manager after manager. They're going to have to get someone in who's just going to... They've just got to be patient with them and let them... Look, I don't know. I watched their game against Bournemouth, and Bournemouth should have won 5-6-0. That weren't a fluke result. They battered Man United. And when I look at Man United's first team and their squad, I'm thinking to myself, what super? They've got a captain now who don't even look like he wants to be there. You know? But anyway, fuck them.
Yeah, I don't know why we're going into Man United all of a sudden.
No. But this guy,
I
only put this up because he asked it a few times. For me, no, I haven't seen Ironworks live.
I don't know if he can confirm, but I think that's what me and Nicky was talking about earlier. I think this is the group that are trying to get like the ultra thing going at West Ham with the fans to. I think that's it. I'm sure that's who it is. I don't know if he can confirm that, but that's what we were saying earlier about the atmosphere in the stadium. They're trying to do like, you know what Palace do and what Arsenal do when they try to get like
fucking cringe, mate.
Yeah,
that Ashburton
I don't mind. Do you know what, Dan? If you was there last night, mate, you'd have seen. We've got to do something because
but what we've got to do, mate, is look at it this way, right? You see away games. You go to the Fulham game, right? You was there. Fans are brilliant, non-stop singing all the time. Most of them fans are the same fans that go to the home games. You know what the difference is? They're not together. They're not concentrated in one area.
No.
So if our away fans can out-sing multiple other stadiums, why can't we have that in our ground? Well, so they don't need a drum. They don't need black hoodies and masks and all this shit.
No. I'm not talking about that. That's ridiculous.
No, but that's what the Arsenal twats do and all of that, and the Palace twats. That's what I'm saying. But it's the away fans. They're the same fans that go to the home games. They're just together, where they're spread out in our stadium. Find a way to get them together, and you will have that. That's all we need to do.
What West Ham need to do, they need to get a part of the ground where they say, right, we're going to have this for a singing and standing section. People that want to move here, then they can change and go there. And they have like a little section of about 4,000 or 5,000. And then, but I don't know. I think away games are different anyway, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. But the thing is, you have them like, so where I am, where I stand, you have a few people, right? Pockets of people that sing. But because there's not enough of us that are willing to sing in that area, it doesn't spread enough. So it doesn't cause enough momentum for it to be heard. And then you'll have a few in 113, and then you'll have a few in Bobby Moore Lower and a few there. If you had that everyone together, and the other problem is, it's the away fans, right? Because next to them, you've got the families, right? On one side of them, you've got the family section. They sit down, kids, free tickets, giveaways, all that. Never gonna sing. You have a couple who might pop off or whatever. The other side, where you had a lot of hardcore fans, have got a big fucking wall between them. So in Upton Park, you used to have that on one side. You had, Trevor Brook and Lower that would go back and forth, and then you had Chicken Run and go. So that's a problem. So I don't think the solution is hoodies, masks, drums, choreographed singing, all of that stuff. yeah, I think the solution is the stadium is how we make it work. Like when I see them
Yeah,
Ashburton Army, I think they're 40-year-old blokes. Do you know what I mean? Who probably work in an office, acting like they're some sort of fucking ultras, like with their flares and masks. They're absolute sad twats.
I don't know where they've come from, to be honest with you. But Frankie James says, could we ever have a West Ham Fan TV Claret and Booze cameo one night? Of course we can. Absolutely. No problem. And Claret and Booze says, to get it up, to sort of close it up. The trouble is the acoustics in that place are so poor, it will never create an atmosphere half the time.
Yeah, I agree. I think the stadium's too big to create an atmosphere like in a small section. It's
we've seen it where Seville was unbelievable.
Yeah,
Chelsea,
listen, that stadium, Arsenal in the cup this season, like that stadium can generate, but you need everyone doing it. When you've got only a little section, you can't hear it. But when the whole ground's up for it, fucking hell, it's one of the loudest grounds in world football when everyone's up for it. And like you hear when the teams come out and everyone's when they're playing bubbles and it's a European night or a big cup game and everyone's in their seats a little bit earlier and everyone's singing bubbles. It's fucking like makes the hair stand on the back of your neck, you know?
Yeah, but I think if you have a section, you need someone to start it. I don't think anyone all starts it. So someone's because you get loud enough and you start hearing it, and then it spreads. It's sort of like a Mexican wave, and it goes around and it goes around.
Yeah, that's a job for you, Dan.
Yeah,
you
on me home. You wear that jumper and that jacket and start a Mexican wave at the front.
Yeah, stand down. Get your microphone out.
Yeah, I'll conduct the thing. I don't understand those fans, by the way, in the ultra sections that have their back to the game and conduct the fans.
Yeah.
Like, why don't you want to watch the game? Ain't you a fan of the team?
I like that though, because they take it upon themselves to make sure that everyone's, you know what I mean, like everyone's back. You know, they're sacrificing their view of the game to make sure that everyone's behind the team. I like that. It's a cup final stadium, absolutely. I was going to say something, but I forgot what I was going to say. Boys, I've got to wrap up because my battery on my camera is about 80 saying it's got 5% left, so it's going to wrap up any minute. So you're going to lose me. You want to carry on, you can carry on, but you're going to lose me any second.
Yeah, no, I think we've covered everything anyway, mate. I mean, getting late now. I want to have a shower and chill out for a bit anyway. So yeah, I'm all good, mate. Good show. All
right, pussy bonus. It was a good show. Thank you very much for joining us on this edition of West Ham Fan TV's Friday Night Pint. Listen, we'll see you before, but enjoy the festive period. I'm sure a lot of you are going to be off next week, and I know that there's a lot of Christmas parties and stuff. So if you're watching this the next day, please hit the like button and share it. But thank you for everyone who joined in the live chat. Next Friday is going to be a bit mad because it's the last one before Christmas. So yeah, we'll see you back.
Why don't we do thingy then next Friday as a special? Why don't we invite Claret and Booze on for a Christmas special?
Yeah, all right. Yeah, why don't we open it up to
Nick,
Friday night booze?
Nick, get your Christmas hat on, mate. Invite the boys. We're going to have a party, a virtual party. Oh, he's logged off. He's fucked off.
He's fuck that.
It'll be a Moyes special.
We'll invite David Moyes. He's the president.
Next week we wear the Christmas jumpers. We'll get the party hats on. We'll pull a few crackers.
Oh, he's in.
We'll have a proper good booze. I'm pretty sure that last year, wasn't it last year when I got fucking hammered?
Yeah.
No, I think we all no. Last year was the one when you got the year before that. We all got hammered, and something happened at Dan's house, outside his house, and he ran out with a camera.
Oh yeah.
Last year was the one where Nicky was rambling on about something that we weren't even talking about, and then he went fuck it and fell off the chair.
I've got a fucking I've got a fucking bit of a reputation for getting hammered at Christmas, and
I might even crack open the Baileys next week.
Yeah, why not? Fuck it. And you have one present.
You got to remember though, it's a 12:30 kickoff the next day, so you can't get too battered.
I know. But yeah. Anyway, thank you very much for joining us on this edition of West Ham Fan TV's Friday Night Pint. We'll see you again, building up to the Wolves game on Sunday. We'll be there, of course, as we are. I'm going to say every game, but a bit slack this season. Most games covering the content over there. Go check out Claret and Booze as well. Go and see his funny voice videos. They make good content over there, and you'll see him next
He's only done one funny voice video.
That's how he's doing.
We should do a channel with them. We should do a channel with them. It's good, but yeah, yeah. Go and check out them guys over there. They're doing a good job. Yeah, subscribe. Check out the merch. There's Christmas jumpers up on there. It's going to be last chances to get them before Christmas. There's gifts on there. Yeah, one thing left to say.
Come on.